Hello everyone, I'm Kelsey. This is my lovely assistant Casey, and today we are going to talk about the inside turning heel. The inside turn is whatever direction you go when you turn into your dog. It requires them to significantly slow down or even stop in order to stay with you. So it is harder for most dogs. Not every dog, but most dogs. So what do I mean by this? I mean my dog is in a heel position. I can take a couple of steps and I can turn towards him and expect him to turn with me and wind up in that heel position again. So I'm turning towards him, nice heel position, turning towards him, nice heel position. You see him pivoting his back feet. That's not necessary for a pet dog heel, but he knows a competition heel, so that's what he's giving me. But your dog does need to slow down and turn their body significantly in order to make this happen. So how am I going to teach this? I'm going to start with a dog that knows a straight line heel, and ideally an outside turn in heel, but that's not a requirement. I'm going to take my treat hand. I'm going to keep it at my pant seam or behind, because watch what happens if I keep my treat hand out here. I'm going to like trip on my dog, okay? It's really awkward. So instead, I'm going to keep my treat hand right by my pant seam or even behind it. And then when I make that turn, he's in position to make the turn. Yes, and release it at the end of the turn. All right, so again, this looks like treat here. Yes, and release the treat. All right. Once your dog is doing well with the treats, then you can use your hand. Keep your hand in that same position. Don't put your hand out in front of you, because you're going to get exactly the same thing you got with the treat. So your hand's out here and you turn into your dog. Well, where is he, right? He doesn't even know how to get back into a heel from that position. Good boy. You tried though. So keep your hand, heel. Good boy. Keep your hand in that nice backwards position. Get your dog to slow down and turn if you yes. Right, so nice back hand. Yes, good boy. Okay. Once you're doing hand targeting. Right? How to tell your dog what you are doing with your body. The hand is one way, right? If that works for you, great. It works for me. I don't really work a lot on other body signals, but the other way to teach your dog what you mean, basically, is to use your feet. So take your outside foot and turn towards your dog. It's awkward, but that's how you're going to tell your dog that they should be expecting you to come that way, and therefore they need to slow down. They're watching your knees, maybe your hips, maybe your feet out of their peripheral vision, depending on how tall they are. So that's where they're getting their information. So when you swing your hips this way to make this turn, they're going, oh, you're coming this way, I better slow down. It's a really good, solid clue for them. So if I'm heeling my dog, and I don't do anything with my hand target, and I turn, and he's not paying attention. He's been working for a while today. He may be getting tired. Good boy. Heel. Turn into him. Yes. Right? So he watched my feet. He watched where I'm coming. He goes, oh, that's how I find heel position. Yes, that was very good. That was actually tricky for him to find heel position from there. But I'm bringing my feet around, and he's bringing his body around. Yes, to match that. All right? So, as with any heel practice, I recommend that you practice at a level where your dog gets a high rate of success. So if walking across this living room, my dog made 3 mistakes, I'm going to walk across a third of my living room at a time. So again, if I can walk all the way across my living room and have my dog do a wonderful turn, then okay, I can work on that. But if my dog is making 3 errors in that time, I'm only going to go this far. Yes, good boy. And this far. Yes, good boy. And this far. Yes, good boy. All right, because I want my dog to succeed. Long term, you want your heel to look successful over a period of time, right? But if you teach your dog to be semi-successful, that is, you don't work at their level, so they're making a lot of mistakes, then you're likely to teach your dog to be semi-successful over longer periods of time as well. So heel is one of those things that I teach with an eye to making sure my dog is getting each step right before I increase the difficulty at all. So that's just my feeling on heel, all right? And then do make sure that you get the treat out of your hand for that lure pretty quickly, because you don't want your dog to just be doing this. Your dog does not know what they're doing when they're doing this, right? They're not really paying attention to what they are doing. So they're just following their nose. When we do that a few times though, and then we bring our hand down and go, I still want you to do that, they go, oh, so this is the behavior I'm supposed to be doing. And they can learn that pretty quickly. But if you just walk your dog in a heel and call this a heel for a long time, your dog doesn't really know what heel is. So do get those lures out of your hands as quickly as you can while continuing to reward continuously. While continuing to reward often. This is more awkward with a leash. I am well aware. If you're practicing this outside, you don't want to hold your treats and your leash in the same hand. So let me go get a leash real quick. So if you are practicing this with a leash on, treats and leash in the same hand, dog on the other side, okay? Because otherwise, your dog is going to walk in front of you to get their treat, and we don't want that. So what I do with this is I'm holding the leash, I've got my dog in heel position, right? I'm going to take off, and then I'm going to reward him with the treats in my leash hand. So I don't have any treats in this hand, I'm not luring him, but I have the treats in my leash hand so I can immediately grab them and reward him. Good boy, go ahead, thank you. I think that's about it on the inside turn, and happy heel practice.